Okay, everyone. My name's Paddy, and this is Cafe. Welcome to Cafe Create. We've got Oliver Thomas from Lipper performing his production of the Overcoat. So enjoy, and there'll be space for some questions and answers at the end. If you've got any questions, type them into the comments, and we'll get them over to Oliver at the end of the session. Hand it over to Oliver.
It all starts with a dream. It's the same dream I've been having for the past 3 months. Every night's the same. I open my eyes, there's a bright light coming over from my wardrobe. I open the wardrobe doors, and inside there's a coat, a beautiful golden overcoat. You see, it's the middle of winter, and everyone at work has these beautiful camel coats, a coat that I just can't afford. So every day is the same. I go to bed and dream about what my life would be like if I had a coat like that. But instead, I've just got this old coat, so people laugh at me when I walk into work. And every night I think how things would be different if I could just be like them. I wake up, I get the train to work. The next station is Paddington Central. Change here for all. No one speaks to each other on the train. Everyone's too busy typing on the phones, reading the newspapers. When I get to the office at 9 o'clock, that's when it starts.
Oh, that coat looks like my granny's sweater.
Bold of you to assume you can pull that off. Look at the state of that. Ooh, I'm going to be sick. That coat is vile. Looks like you fished that coat out of a skip.
Try and block out the thoughts, but they just keep coming twice as quick as before.
Oh, that
As
coat
if he's
looks
got
like
the
my
house
granny's
wearing
sweater.
that. I'm going to be sick. That coat is vile.
Oh, that
Bold
coat
of you
looks
to
like my
assume you can
granny's
pull that
sweater.
off. As if he's got the house wearing that. Look at the state of that.
Oh, that coat looks like my granny's sweater.
And then the boss rings. Hi, Carl, you okay? Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just working on them copies that you wanted me to do. Hiya, Kaki. How are you? Listen, I know I said I needed 100 copies by tomorrow, but things have changed. I'm going to need 100,000. 100,000? 100,000. 100,000 Stop repeating what I'm saying. 100,000, Kaki. Things have changed. The business world is shifting. You don't mind staying late tonight, do you? Well, actually, Carl, I've been having a bit of a stressful few days, so I was going to go home tonight and just chill out, but... No, you can stay. I do it myself, but a few of us are going for some drinks tonight after work, so... Oh, maybe I could come. I could come and meet you all after work. I haven't been out with anyone for ages, and I've been feeling a bit... We've booked it. You wouldn't be able to come. Listen, I can't keep speaking for now, Kaki, but we'll speak on Monday. You get those copies done for me, and have a good day, okay? And just like that, he's gone. And I'm on my own again. Last person in the office. 100,000 copies. What's that? Only another 99,900 to go. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is completely... So I stay. Just like I stayed last night. Just like I stayed the night before. Just like I'll stay tomorrow night. Sometimes when it's just me in the office, I like to take the lift up to the very top floor. Going up. You can see the whole city from up here. It's beautiful. The buildings are lit up like a million angels. The couples hold hands as they walk home. The birds fly through the sky, and all I can think about is how it feels like I'm the only person in that office. Sometimes it feels like I'm the only person in the whole world. How can you be surrounded by so many people but still feel so alone? But I don't question it. I stay and get the work done, and then I'm on the last train home. The next station is loneliness. As I'm on the train home, all I can think about is that coat. Things would be so different for me if I had a coat like that. But you just can't think like that, can you? You can't let yourself get carried away. Honestly, I'm not even going to let myself bother with the thought of that coat anymore. I don't even care, honestly. I'm not even going to mention it. I'm not. Oh, I might have a little song about it first. Go on, I'll have a song. If only I had a new coat. If only I had a new coat. then I would finally fit in. I would belong and be just like them. Get home at midnight and I can't sleep. I'm staring at a screen all day. So I decide to put the radio on to distract me. There's traffic tonight on the M62, so we recommend you avoid all major roundabouts as you make your way home. Ave Maria. Hey, of course, I do think we need to push this through. This next one is for all you lonely people out there tonight. It's the song On My Own Again from the musical Les Miserables. But first, it's Michelle with the advertisements. Take it away, Michelle. Do you want to change your life? Do you want to be someone? Hey, you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Are you miserable? Are you bored? Do you feel stuck at work? Well, you know what you need. To talk to somebody about how you feel. Don't make me laugh. You need a brand new overcoat. Starting at just £100, a new overcoat can change your life. With the belt coming included, what are you waiting for? Call us today on 0151 51765. Now I know what you might be thinking. There's no way I could afford it. Well, that's why we have our brilliant buy now, pay later scheme, where you can pay for the code and we'll worry about the money at another point. Okay, so why question it? Change your life today and order a brand new overcoat. Terms and conditions may apply. New overcoat is not actually promised a different future. A different past, no can accredit a later scheme. Cannot be in debt with severe consequences may come at the consequence of owning a new overcoat. I think it must be a sign. There's me thinking about this coat for weeks, for months, between me and you for years. And then I get home and there's an advert on the radio. Oh, but I can't afford it and I shouldn't be thinking like this. But it's like my body's not mine. It's like I'm not in control. I take my phone out. I type in the number. Hi, I'd like to order a new coat, please. And before I can even end the phone call, the doorbell rings. I step outside. And that's when I see it. A cardboard box with my name on it. I think it must be a dream, but it's not. This is real. I walk over to the box and open it up. And inside, it's the coat. It's the same coat from the dream. The coat I've been thinking about for months. I look at it, and in a strange way, it looks back at me. I think this might just be the best day of my entire life. Fits like a glove. Like it was made just for me. And all I can think about is walking into that office tomorrow. How my whole life's about to change. Just you wait and see. Everything is about to change for me. Told you everything had changed. Look different, don't I? More confident, more like someone else. Well, listen, I've got a social life now that you wouldn't even recognise. I'm that busy. Let me tell you about my week. On Monday, I go shopping with Susan from work. Looking good, Susan. Yeah, I think the red one suits you. It's nice. Yeah, go for it. On Tuesday, I play tennis with Terry. He's got a good shot, but I managed to beat him. On Wednesday, I go for some drinks with the lads after work. Now, I don't actually drink because it makes me feel really anxious and overwhelmed, and I hate it. But everyone else is, so I think, why not? What's the worst that can happen? Well, Thursday's the best night of all. Karaoke. They can feel it all over. Go on, man. They can feel it all over, people. On Friday, it's the best day of all. Get invited to a birthday party. It's the first party I've been invited to in months, in years. And I'll tell you something strange. No matter where I go, swimming, football, drinks after work, everyone always wants me to wear the coat. I mean, it's weird because you think people would like me for who I am, but no matter what I do, it's all about the coat. Let me take you back to the first day in the office. Someone said, "Thank you very much."
Hey, that's a nice coat.
Oh, cheers, it's new.
I love the colour of your coat. Oh my god, I love your coat.
I don't think we've met before, no? Thanks, yeah. No, it's not H&M, it's from a dream. We won't get into that. Yeah, cheers.
I love your coat.
And then the boss rings, but this time it's different. Hi, Carl, you're all right, mate? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm just working on them copies that you were. Khaki, you look different, more confident. You look like somebody completely new. Have you had a haircut? No, Carl, I don't have any hair, mate. Do I? I never. Oh no, it must be. Have you got a new coat? Yes, it's a new coat. Like the rest of us, you look different, more confident, more like one of us. Listen, Akaki, I've been thinking lately, and I'm interested in offering somebody a promotion. Is this something you'd be interested in? Yeah, Carl, actually it is, yeah. It's all I've ever wanted, mate, to be honest with you. I think it would be great, but I mean, whatever you want, I'm not even bothered. Akaki, you going to Dave's birthday party at the weekend? Yeah, I'll be there. Okay, I'll give you till then to decide. One more thing. Make sure you bring the coat. Just like that, everything's changed. A few weeks ago, he didn't even know my name, and now he's offering me a promotion. The party rolls around, and everyone's there. Stephen, Simon, Sebastian, Sufjan, Simone, Dave. All right, Dave. But it's a really warm day. It's the middle of summer, so I decide not to wear the coat. I mean, everyone knows me by now, don't they? I've been out with everyone. I've got a social life that I wouldn't even recognise. So I leave the coat at home. I don't need it. Everyone likes me for who I am. I think I'm going to make a big entrance. So I stand outside the party, swing the door open, run in and shout, "Happy birthday, Dave!" Everyone just turns and looks at me. It's like they don't recognise me. I walk over to the boss and say, "Carl, what's going on, mate? Everyone..." "Oh, Kaki," he says. "Where's the coat? You look different. Less like one of us, less confident, less like yourself." Listen, about the promotion, looking at you now, I've changed my mind. Things have changed, okay. We'll talk about this next week. Then everyone files out the room. One by one, they leave into the next room until I'm alone again. And it's weird, because in this moment, I have this realization. I have this thought where I think it was never about me. It was always about the coat. They never liked me for who I was. They wanted me to be just like them. I run home and pick the coat up. I look at it, and this time I feel different. I go back to the office, take the lift up again to the top floor, to see the whole city from up here, and it's just as beautiful as it was before. The buildings lit up like a million angels, the birds flying high through the sky, the couples holding hands as they walk home. I open the window, I take the coat and throw it out. I watch it fly through the sky down to the floor below. I feel different. I don't need to change for anyone. I don't need to change to be just like them. I'm happy with who I am. Confident in myself. And that night, whereas before, all I've been able to dream about was that coat. Tonight, when I close my eyes, I dreamt of nothing at all.
Amazing. Go ahead. Okay, so thanks for joining us, everyone. Oliver, can you tell us a little bit about that? Then that was amazing. What a brilliant performance, like.
Yeah, so that's my adaptation of the Overcoat. So it's an old Russian story, written a few hundred years ago, but I think the themes, still very prevalent today, very present for young people. So yeah, it's set in a contemporary day, but it's the same sort of themes as that story. So self-esteem, peer pressure, and it came from that sort of inspiration to try and create a project aimed at young people about that important issue of self-esteem, peer pressure, self-image in the world today, and how we can build a healthy sense of belonging in the world.
So it's like what with regards to kind of like that sense of identity that you're kind of exploring in the piece. It's just like what kind of inspired you to take this on as the story's obviously resonated with you, but what was it about that story that you thought would be able to come across to young people and how young people are?
Yeah, I think it's that thing, isn't it? That often these issues like self-esteem or confidence are often things maybe that we don't speak about, and the inspiration came from kind of creating a space where it's okay and it's good and it's useful to talk about these things. So like the character, rather than sort of keeping our heads down and just plodding on, trying to sort of encourage that space of saying it's great and it's good to talk about these things and talk about what's going on in our lives. And that's sort of where the inspiration came from maybe some past projects too. Things kept coming up about how can we create that space where these things can be spoke about.
I know you were, when we originally started talking about it, it was something that this project was kind of typically aimed towards young men. But obviously the themes are, kind of universal. Look, they cover all kind of aspects of being a young person, just like trying to navigate life and in like being a young person as well. I suppose the question I've got really is, do you think it is, particularly for young men, is there advice that or is there any kind of things that you've learned throughout this process like that might be able to kind of help, particularly young men, try and kind of navigate some of those social pressures? I don't know what you think would be.
I think we've been touring it the past few weeks, and we've been in conversation with young men, and I think something that's come up and something that's important is that sense of community. So knowing, whether it's people in a class or people in a youth centre that you go to or family, but just creating that community around you so you can be there for other people, but also knowing people are there for you. And I think knowing there's people around you that you can talk to takes a lot of pressure off yourself to deal with things on your own, which obviously no one should ever do. And I think for young men especially, there's that sense that maybe sometimes there's that pressure to not speak up or to not talk out, when actually what we want to encourage is the opposite, saying that it's great and it's healthy and it's useful to talk about how we feel. But yeah, if we can get that, maybe, if it was that little bit of advice, is maybe getting people around you and having that group of people you can feel happy talking to, and also that they can come to you too. And that's a good place to start.
And I suppose kind of the coat idea as well, it's something, coats, maybe trainees probably resonate a little bit more with kids, like, but that sense of like feeling like you've got to have this thing to fit in. I suppose, if for young people, if they are in groups where that is kind of the norm, you've got to do these things. I suppose it's kind of really, it's about questioning, isn't it? Like questioning the people around you and what their motivations are, and from the type of work we've done in a long time, working with young people, we see it all the time, particularly young lads. And definitely with all genders, that is that having that thing doesn't necessarily sort the situation out enough, and all the members of that group are all feeling this sense of anxiety or pressure to feel like we've got to fit in, we've got to have this level of, we've got to have this right pair of trainers on, otherwise we can't be part of this group, and everyone's also feeling that same thing. So it's just echoing what you've said there. It's about questioning the people who are around you and what their motivations are, but also being around people that you trust, isn't it? And that you can have open conversations with, and actually it doesn't really matter whether you're wearing the right gear, at the end of the day. So it's very interesting. So I think kind of at the end of the performance. So how can people keep on top of following Oliver and his performances, and what's next for you guys, and what's the next production? Is there stuff coming down the line?
Yeah, so there's a resource pack attached to this that you can download from the link on Zillow. So in that there's some tasks, some questions, some resources too, if you want to think about, maybe it's spark the thought or the conversation that you want to think on. So there's some resources on that can be used there. Yeah, and I think going forward from this, the conversations and the ideas that have come out of this, as you say, it's a really important thing, not just for young men, but for all, all young people. Yeah, could be something in the works, related to this, building on this, and getting young people involved in this. Yeah, these questions, which like you say, we should be asking all the time. Why these pressures, and we can challenge them in our lives, and that's it doesn't happen overnight, but bit by bit we can work away and create that sense of belonging. So yeah,
Wicked, amazing. Cheers all. Thanks guys. That's it.
great.
Cheers.